Oh, weird. Hello. Hello, everybody. Welcome to this Cancer New Moon contemplation. I am recording this on July 7th, 2023, and the Cancer New Moon actually takes place July 17th, 2023 at 24 degrees and 55 minutes of Cancer. And the new moon is always when we have the sun and the moon exactly together in the sky. And that is why the light of the sun clouds out the light of the moon, and it basically goes dark down to nothing. Like, you could say the moon like merges into the sun. The feminine and the masculine completely come together once a month. It begins each new lunar cycle. And that beginning kicks off in Cancer this time. And we will have the full moon of this lunar cycle will be in Aquarius because of the disjointed lunar cycle we're on right now. So we have a Cancer new moon followed up by Aquarius full moon coming a couple weeks after that. So for this contemplation, I really want to open up a little bit of space here where we can think about our Cancer energy. So we have the sun and the moon both in Cancer at the time of this new moon. And the moon is actually really comfortable there, really at home in Cancer. So anytime we have the moon in Cancer, our emotions are just a little bit more accessible to us, and this can be a good thing. This can be really helpful for us to get to see what our emotions are telling us. And I like to think about our emotions as like the canary in the coal mine, like how the workers are all like, oh, no, it's fine. I think it's fine. But the canary stopped singing and appears to be dead. I don't know what's going on here. The canary is that much more sensitive to toxicity in the environment, and this is how our emotions work for us. So, how cool is that, first and foremost, um, to get to have such a sensitive mechanism inside of us that lets us know when we've entered into a space that is not conducive for our health and well being, emotionally or otherwise. And that is essentially what we have opening up to us here. And I want to talk about both of them, the Cancer new moon and the Aquarius full moon, because I feel like they very much go together as far as the realization that the Cancer new moon is bringing to us is something along the lines of how important your energy is. And not just to you. Like, your energy is so utterly important to the entire collective that it is worth nurturing and nourishing and protecting and doing whatever it takes to help you feel like you have a full cup, to help you feel like you have enough safety in your world to navigate and do what it is that you need to do, that you have a sense of security that belongs to you personally, that you're not dependent on anybody else for your sense of security. Like, all of these pieces are being communicated to us pretty much all the time through our emotions. When we start to enter into a space that is not conducive to our emotional well being, we start to feel upset, and sometimes we are so, like, poisoned by the toxicity, we're so upset in our emotions that we can't even communicate anymore what it is that we're upset about, what's wrong, what needs to change. We're just so upset in our emotions. And so I feel like because of that, a lot of people really villainize their emotions and like, oh, well, I want to be logical and I want to like be rational, and like that we as a society, especially, we prize these qualities. And what that's saying though is, fuck that canary in the coal mine. Like, who needs to listen to that guy? And it's like, if you don't, like, the damage of what's coming beyond that sensitivity point, like, the stimulus will only get louder and more damaging the less we listen to it. So our emotions, this Cancer new moon, really getting us in touch with our emotions and what those emotions are telling us, like how it's guiding us and showing us either yes, more of this, or no, no more of this. So our emotions will tell us. Our emotions will pull us towards some things and will repel us. We will feel repulsed from other things. And that is how our emotions protect us. So it's like when we stop listening, when we're repulsed emotionally, and yet we still lean in, that's when life smacks our hand. That's when we burn our hand on the stove. Like when we feel the heat, which is to say, feel the repulsion in our emotions, and we touch the hot surface anyway, and then we get burned, and then we're really sad because we got burned. But it's like the heat is there if we're listening to our emotions. And so this Cancer new moon promises to turn up the volume so you can hear your emotions. And again, I go back to how cool is that? That we would be able to hear this guidance that is so helpful for us on our path. And again, not just for our own highest good, but for the good of the all. And I really lay on that point for two reasons. One, Cancer's heart is the size of Texas. So, like, the Cancer energy inside us all is just a fountain of love, basically. And we'll get upset when that love is cut off. Again, like, that's a good mechanism to have. So, number one, I think everyone pretty much can be appealed to in this sense of like, it is the truly loving thing to do to take really good care of yourself. And then second, on that Aquarius full moon, the question is like, who are you in this world and what do you have to give from within yourself that can build a better future for the collective? Like, how do you use your life to improve the quality of life for life on this planet, not just for yourself, not even just for the people who already live here, but for future generations, and like all the people who will ever come after you? Like, it is an incredibly gigantic viewpoint that Aquarius holds. And again, if you're not taking really good care of you, then what do you have to give? Like, I use the analogy with Cancer energy of a dam. Like, think about like a hydro power plant where they built a dam and created this body of water. And as the water level rises and the force against this resistance, this boundary, as that force increases, the amount of power they're able to generate and the amount of area that they're able to electrify gets bigger and bigger and bigger. With like the bigger the dam, the more water that's held behind it, the force of that water being held in place by the dam creates this gigantic reservoir of power, that of energy, of life force energy, that then you can channel towards whatever you want. And the question on the Aquarius full moon is, what's worth it to you? Like, what are you giving your dam, your reservoir of power? What are you giving it to? And what is the impact of that thing? And what is the value to future generations of that thing? And so to recognize our own importance takes takes a lot, right? Like, it takes a lot of self-esteem, takes a lot of self-respect, it takes the beginnings of self-love to come into place and believe that you are worthy of even believing in yourself to that extent that you could make such an impact. So I don't, offer all of this lightly. And if anything, I think this Cancer new moon is a great time to get in touch with your own self love. Like what I just saw was making a focus wheel of, I love myself because, or the greatest things about me are, or I am valuable in the world because, and whatever you want to put like in the middle of the focus wheel, but then you draw compartments on the rest of the page and kind of like all of these ideas that are all, I love myself because, or I am valuable because, or the gifts I bring into the world are. And then you fill up, you focus on the reasons you are lovable until the page is completely full. And it takes, I mean, anytime I make a focus wheel, it's like anywhere from 5 minutes. If it's really strong, like if the energy is like really familiar to me, I can dump out a focus wheel in a few minutes. If it's something like at the beginning of my spiritual journey when I'm trying to fill a page with why I love myself, you might sit there in that contemplation trying to make that focus wheel for 20 or 30 minutes. So, depending on what you pick and how much you've practiced it and all of that, like what you're doing is focusing, like, it's the focus wheel, the paper at the end. I usually take a picture of mine just because 'cause I'm, like, so proud. I'm like, "Oh, look what I did." But that's really not the point. The paper being filled out is not the point. Spending 20 minutes focusing on trying to find reasons you're lovable, trying to find reasons you're worth taking really good care of. To spend 20 minutes thinking about that, like, how often do we do that? Not very often, especially for Cancer energy. So, like, the more Cancer energy you possess, the more typically you're nurturing to other people. And so, again, like, it may be a really foreign concept to even think about why you're worth loving because your posture and your mindset is so much more focused on picking out why everybody else is lovable and worth loving and how you can specifically love each person to make them feel the most loved. And I'm like, especially if you're resonating with that part, I'm like, turn that on yourself. Turn it on yourself and find all of the little unique reasons why you are so lovable. That feels like such a beautiful gift that we could each give to ourselves this Cancer new moon that would go a long ways in filling our cup for really being ready to show up and answer that question that the Aquarius full moon is posing to us, which is like, how are you using your life force to make the world a better place? And if you're over here sitting here thinking like I'm inadequate, I have no value to bring to the world, then you're going to draw a blank on that Aquarius full moon. Like, I don't think I have anything to add. And that's just not true. So, this Cancer new moon can be an opportunity of kind of like filling your cup proactively so that when we get into Leo season, when we get into that Aquarius full moon, you do have something where you believe that, heck yes, I'm valuable. Heck yes, I have something to add. I have my story, if nothing else. I have my life story, my life experience that is worth something to me, at least, and could easily be worth something to a lot of other people. So we all have something to give. And this Cancer new moon is a beautiful opportunity to see yourself through the universally loving eyes of not even just your mother, because humans are flawed individuals, we can't help it, but the great mother. Universally loving great mother sees you, and to look at yourself through those eyes. Like, you could even put that in the middle of the focus wheel. Like, the universal, all loving, great mother loves me because. And why do you think she does? Because I know she does. We all are loved because we exist. And so to connect with that sense of you being worth that kind of powerful love is one of the most practical ways I can think to share about this Cancer new moon, as far as it is happening at 24 degrees of Cancer. So, like right before the end of Cancer season, it'll even be within that week that the sun will move on into Leo. So, again, kind of for the entire Leo season, even the more you believe that you yourself are lovable and worth love and have value to bring and have reasons that you deserve your own self-respect, like the more you can build up your sense of self and that you're worth nurturing yourself, the more you have that dam in place to where your energy can rise. And when we go into Leo season, Leo is ruled by the sun, and the sun in Leo, especially, is all about shining for the pleasure and enjoyment and upliftment of other people. So, again, like Cancer energy loves that shit. Like, loves making other people feel happy. So, like, really, though, the bigger picture is you can affect the biggest, most positive ripple effect by first taking good care of yourself, building the dam around yourself so that your own energy is contained and your water levels can rise until your cup is full. And then anything that wants to overflow from there that's what, as we go into Leo season, we take that overflow that, like, my cup is full. I'm fully fed and satiated. My thirst is quenched. I'm good to go. But I still have all of this water. Does anybody want it? Do you want it? Do you want it? You can have this. This isn't, I don't need this. Do you want it? And you just start giving it away. And that's when life gets really fun, is when you just give away the excess. So, yeah, but at that point, like, right, you have to keep the dam there. You have to keep putting water in. You have to keep holding yourself in a posture of I matter, therefore I'm worth taking care of, therefore I am constantly filling my cup, therefore there is overflow to continue to share. So, Cancer new moon is a beautiful opportunity to ground into how full is your cup. And if you recognize that it's maybe a little, less full than you would prefer, that this is a great time to take a couple days and really ask yourself, what would help me feel nurtured? What does fill my cup? What would help me feel like I have a solid footing under me and I'm ready to take on the world? I'm ready to shine bright in Leo season and give away the overflow to, help make other people happy. So, yeah, all of that sounds really good. But again, loving ourselves is a journey that does not just happen overnight. So, I would love to hear from you in the comments, how your self love journey is going. Cancer season in general is a beautiful time to check in on that and see about any recent breakthroughs you've had, or even just thinking about the progress. Like, I love myself more than a year ago. And here's how I know that. And like, that's what's in the center of the focus wheel. And you start thinking about all the ways you're gentler and kinder with yourself than you were this time a year ago, or 5 years ago, or 10 years ago. So, all of these ways of focusing yourself into your own care. How's it going? How are you feeling? And I don't just mean fine, thanks. How are you? I mean, for real, how are you? How are you? What's going on in there? And getting really honest about that question, again, not for just your own benefit, but for the highest good of the all. So I am going to leave it right there. This is a really, really teeny short little live stream today. It's how it wanted to come through. It's really short and simple and sweet. Love yourself. The Great Mother absolutely does. And the more convinced you are of your own lovability, the really like the tides of the energies overall are changing. And I've been narrating that a lot with the Aries North Node coming up, actually changing signs on the same day as as the Cancer new moon, both happening July 17th, 2023. So as soon as the nodes change signs, we're also having this Cancer new moon opposite Pluto squaring those nodes. So a cardinal grand cross of energy, that one core component of this grand cross, of this massively powerful catalyst that the entire world will be living under. One of the pillars of it is the Cancer new moon, and is how much you love yourself. So I hope it's a lot. I hope the Cancer new moon helps it to be even more, and that, it's normal if it feels like effort. It's normal if it feels like, I don't really love myself, but I'm going to at least try making a focus wheel of the reasons I kind of like myself, you know? Like, dude, adapt it and reach for the part that you can reach. Reach for the rung on the ladder that you can reach, and consciously take those steps to climb your way towards self love. That's really the best we can ever hope for. So, for anyone doing that work, big air hugs for you from me. And there's lots of other videos on my channel from very recently for that Aries North Node, where I am talking to each of the nodal groups. I actually have another one probably coming yet today or tomorrow. So watch the channel for that. That one will be for Pisces Aquarius and Capricorn North nodes. There's already a few others out on the channel. I'll go ahead and just link those in the description box. If you're hungry for more of the contemplations, definitely head there. There will be lots of yummy things to contemplate through those. I did talk a little bit in this batch that I'm getting ready to release about how you might like to use all the chapters. So even if you don't have one of those three north nodes of the Pisces, the Capricorn, or the Aquarius, do still watch the first 10 minutes or so because I explain how you might benefit from not just watching the chapter associated with your personal north node. There may be other chapters that have messages for you. So that is, I think, all I have to say for today. If you liked this little mini contemplation, please give the video a thumbs up. Do subscribe to the channel if you want to be notified when I release new content. And yeah, until next time, I do hope that you will take such good care of the beautiful creature that you are. And so will I. Okay. Okay. Bye, guys. Bye, everybody.